Welcome to a nutty adventure exploring personal growth and wellness, breaking down the stigma around mental health along the way. Let's dive in because now it's time to show me your nuts.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. It is also Expo Day. And though I'm not over there in the expo yet, I will be there. But those of you who don't know need to go to the link I will put up in the chat as soon as I can, because it's going to be Epic Expo Day. This link should get you there, I believe. And if it doesn't, let me know, and I'll put another one up, because I didn't have that ready. I was ready to talk about the expo because it's going to be good. That's where all of my friends are at the moment, so I'm probably going to be here by myself for the hour, and that's all right with me. That's all right. I'll make it through this. So welcome back to Show Me Your Nuts. It's Belief Month. It's December. It's December, everybody. It's already freaking December. How in the world did that happen? It's kind of boggled brain. I'm not sure how it happened. Except that there were 365 days ago, it was also December. Figure that one out. Yes, I am in that kind of a mood today. Good morning and welcome to Show Me Your Nuts. I see there's at least one person watching, which means they're either at the expo and here, or they're not at the expo yet. So leave me a message in the chat and let me know if you know even what I'm talking about the expo. It's the Global Business Plaza's quarterly expo today. So today, the show's topic, one of my favorites. Yes, I say they're all my favorites, but it's my show, right? So today's topic is challenging limiting beliefs, because limiting beliefs are like the engine that puts us in reverse, but they're things that we carry with us all the time. So when we challenge those limiting beliefs, we can actually change the engine from going in reverse to going forward. And it's not that they're bad things entirely. Sometimes they're things that have protected us for years, and we needed that protection. So it's not necessarily that they're a bad thing. So today we want to talk about identifying and challenging those limiting beliefs. And part of that is, one of the ways we can do that is by reframing our negative thoughts. And it's not just reframing a negative thought like, oh, I'm having a bad day today, to, hey, I had a good morning this morning, so I'm going to have a good afternoon. Not that that's not challenging a limiting belief. It's a smaller example, I think, of where I'm going, because that example is like something that happened just today versus I am not worthy. That's a limiting belief that it's likely that somebody may have held for years, and that's been part of their makeup and their how they live life, how they look at things, without even realizing it sometimes, right? So you can have a limiting belief that impacts you, that you don't even realize it's impacted something until long after. So another example of a limiting belief could be, I am not pretty enough. Frequently they start with, I am not blank enough, or I am, we'll use some words that I don't like using on here, words like I am stupid, or I am a piece of whatever, or it's those kinds of things that make us think that we are less than we are. And the thing is every single one of us on this planet is a human being. None of us are less than anything. We're not even less than when we are in a room where someone else might have a skill that's better than us. That doesn't make us less than. It makes us different. And those differences aren't necessarily bad things, because those differences could be one strength in one area, one strength in another area. We come together and we can do anything. So they are attributes that each of us have as humans that we can then share with each other to either support each other or come together and create something new or teach each other our skills. I think instead of seeing things as I am not good enough, it's this is what I am good at. And then the other person, this is what I am good at. Ooh, let's bring those together, and poof, an explosion happens. There's at least 2 people watching in the worlds. I can see a couple of viewers there. I'd love it if you shared in the comments where you're watching, show me your nuts from, and what brought you here. Even if you've watched before, and even if I know who you are. So we're talking about limiting beliefs today. We're talking about things that, those beliefs about ourselves that kind of slow us down and kind of sometimes put us in reverse. And the cool thing about limiting beliefs is the good thing and the bad thing. The good thing and the bad thing at the same time is that they're programmed into our mind, usually into our unconscious mind, and usually between the ages of 0 and 7, because that's when our unconscious mind is soaking the world in like a big ass sponge, and we're taking everything in. And that's when we take in the beliefs. And sometimes it's even a belief that's not because somebody said something about us to say you're not worthy, but there was an action that made us think that the answer to it is, I'm not worth that. I'm not good enough. I'm not whatever enough. And it could be because we learn that comparanoia game really early, especially if you have siblings or if you have people around who are comparing other people. All of those beliefs and things get put in, not always on purpose. They get put in frequently, they get put in inadvertently from those around us. And we put those limiting beliefs into our kiddos without realizing it. And it's not necessarily something to blame ourselves for and think that we're bad for doing it. It's how do we help those young ones navigate through that as they get older, and how do we help them challenge those limiting beliefs and grow stronger by challenging them. So it's, you also can't say, oh, I'm a bad parent because I was, because boom, you're installing a limiting belief for yourself. So you can't necessarily say, oh, I'm a bad adult because I'm doing this around this child and I made them bad. I made them hurt. It's not a blame game. There shouldn't be blame and shame. It should be, oh, that's where they learned that. They picked that up because I was saying this, this, and this when they were, oh, okay, how can I help them understand that they are worthy? How can I help them let go of that limiting belief so that they know that they are worth something? So one way to deal with a limiting belief is literally by reframing. So the one of the examples we started off at the top of the hour was, I'm having a shit day. I'm having a bad day. Those days where you wake up and you drop everything and you can't get out of bed, your pillow or your blanket falls on the floor, you drop the coffee mug, you just you forget your glasses in the morning. Who knows, right? All the 10 million things that happen that you're going, oh God, today is going to be a rough one. You just installed what the day is going to be like, and you just installed that you are crap because of it. So reframing those thoughts when you catch yourself, and that's kind of the trick to reframing. One of the tricks is catching yourself having the thought, catching yourself having that negative behavior so that you can reframe it. So the first thing you have to do is catch yourself going, oh, wait a minute. I just said I'm going to have a shit day, and I don't want to have a, yeah. So you change the framing of the sentence to, I am having a great day because I'm awake. I have my coffee. It is still warm. It's not as hot as my husband drinks it by any means. Man drinks super hot, super black coffee, nothing in it. Mine's got chocolate electrolytes in my coffee. Yes, I have, but that way I'm getting my chocolate, I'm getting my electrolytes in, but I also am getting yumminess of chocolate at the same time. So chocolate and espresso, don't judge. So the reframe is, ooh, I have my coffee and it's warm and I have somewhere warm to be. It's cold outside and I have somewhere warm to be. And I am excited about my day because I'm going to go to the Global Business Plaza Expo and I'm going to hang out with my friends all day and I'm going to have an amazing day. The reframe has to do with finding the small, sometimes it has to do with finding the tiny things that are good. And one of the tiny things might just be, I am upright, breathing, and on the right side of the dirt, as they say. So it's finding the little things and focusing on them and appreciating them. And some days all it is I'm upright, breathing, and on the right side of the dirt. Some days it's, my coffee tastes amazing. Some days it's, my friend sent me a cute little meme and they were thinking of me. Some days it's, oh my God, I won 4 awards on the Breakthrough Show Network's award show. And Jessica made me cry twice in an hour and made me speechless. True story. Happened Friday. And thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that Show Me Your Nuts has made an impact for someone, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to help bring up the topics that we don't talk about. I had a loose idea of my show's premise and it has continued. And in 2026, it's going to continue even more. And yes, the show is very loose. Don't stay on topic and I move around a lot. What do you expect of a squirrel? For those of you who don't know me, hello, my name's Stacy Braiuca. I'm also known as the Squirrel Wrangler. Got texiety? I solved that. Yes, that was my formal introduction. Anyway, sometimes the little things are the little joys and the giggles and the laughs that you have with friends and the things you do. And those are the things you have to remember when you are shifting a limiting belief about the day. So when you're shifting those small limiting beliefs of, I just had a horrible meeting with my boss, today's horrible. Instead, shift to, I only have an hour left to work. Then I'm going to go home and relax. Or I only have 60 more minutes. I have made it 7 hours. I've only got 1 more to go. It's finding the small things, finding the positive things and bringing them in. Shifting limiting beliefs that are about ourselves, like I am not worthy. Those take a little different work. Those take a little more work. There's a process called mental emotional release that I do with clients that helps them shift and get rid of those big limiting beliefs that are really weighing them down and changing it, those ones that we carry with us, and it makes us avoid possible opportunities we have in life. It makes us compare ourselves to others until we're in comparanoia. It makes us shrink and not be who we can be. And those are the bigger negative beliefs that we carry around. And we don't even realize we have them. And those are the ones that are, I'm not going to say they're hard to release. They're actually pretty easy to release. I use a technique called, it's like I said, mental emotional release or timeline therapy. And you can look it up to hear about it. It was created by Dr. Tad James, and it was refined by Dr. Matthew James, who was my teacher, my Kumu. Shout out to Dr. Matt. And it's an amazing work that we do. I take people on their timeline back into their past and where those limiting beliefs got started, and we shake them up. We get rid of them. It is possible to get rid of those things. And when you have something like, I am not worthy, or I am, okay, let me take that one down the line. When you have a limiting belief like, I am not good enough, or I'm not as, here's an even more specific example. I am not as good as I think I am. We are always as good as we think we are. Now, we don't have to make that grandiose and make it that we are the best compared to everyone and everyone should bow to us. I mean, we don't have to take it into king land or dictatorship. It's, you are good. You are smart. When you know a subject it's okay to be confident. It's okay to be confident. And there's some of us who, because of life experiences, a limiting belief may have started at a certain point in time and then gotten reinforced, because we will reinforce everything that we think like that. We'll look around the room and go, oh, yeah, see, that's why I'm not good enough. See, that's why I'm not good enough. See, that's why I don't know as much as I think I do. And we reinforce that negative belief by looking for things that we think are going to release it, or to support it. I just watched a super, super short kind of commercial little video that had a gentleman in it who also knows NLP, and pretty famous guy. And he was telling his participant, look around the room and find everything that is brown. And so the person looks around the room, finds everything that's brown. Then he says, okay, close your eyes. And then he says, okay, think of everything that you saw that was red. And the exercise was meant to, and then he had the guy open his eyes, and then, then like find everything, now find everything red. Well, that you are going to look around the room and find everything that's brown if that's what your belief is telling you to do. And then when you are faced with, oh, wait, find everything that's red, something that's opposite, your mind is not going to be able to think of anything that's red because you thought of everything that was brown. So let me translate that. Look around the room and find everything that shows that you are not as good as you think you are. And then close your eyes. And then think of everything that shows you are as good as you are. Okay. And you're not going to be able to think of the second one because you have reinforced the first one so much. And you found all the brown things, all the things that are shit, and all the things that are that show that you're not worthy or that you're not good enough. And so you can't see the things that show you are good enough. It's almost like there's a haze, and right now there's going to be a sneeze. This is live stream show, everybody. So you're going to find all the things that back you up that you're not good enough. Just because you're programmed. It's programmed. And until you can take that haze, those glasses off, if you will, that say, I am not as good as I think I am, and you can actually see the things that are out there that show, yes, you are good, all you're going to see is the things through the lens of, I am not good enough. I'm not as good as I think I am, rather. Now, like I said, one of the things I do is help people take those glasses and take them off so that they can see the things that they are good at. And it is possible. It's not possible to do on a show like this exactly, but the example I just gave you is a real example. It happened in this head right here, in this mind. I had an example of something where I thought I was really good at something. No, I knew I was good at something. And it's about 6th grade, and a teacher called me out in front of class about that subject. And it was, you should be able to answer this question because you say you're good enough at that. And that particular question, I wasn't able to answer, or I wasn't able to answer it on the spot. I don't remember for sure. All I remember is from that point forward in my life, I looked for times where I thought I was good enough, and I would find everything that showed that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And so I would chip away at my own confidence. I chipped away at my own confidence because of something one adult said when I was in 6th grade. And I did that until 3 years ago, November. And on November 17th, 2022, using the process that I now use with clients, I was able to get rid of that limiting belief that had destroyed my confidence from the time I was in 6th grade until the time I was 54 years old. It's not ever too late to get rid of something that has caused you that much pain so that you can move forward. Because our beliefs that are limiting about ourselves can be just as strong in the negative sense, but our beliefs about being good and our beliefs about being strong and our positive beliefs about ourselves can be just as effing good and just as strong. Because the difference in my life from 3 years ago till today is absolutely night and day. I blow through projects because I know I'm good at the things I'm good at now. Chemical Soup TV, I just saw that you're there. Thanks for joining. Tell me in the comments what you think of today's topic of limiting beliefs and negative and that. I'm so glad that you're there. It's good to see a familiar face in the audience. And if you feel like sharing, go ahead and share a belief that you have that you think is maybe weighing you down, or maybe more simply, a reframe in your day of how like if you're not feeling, if you have a negative feeling today and how you reframed it. If you've got an example, and if you care to share. If you don't, that's okay. You don't have to share. But I'm glad to see you. I'm definitely glad to see you. So today's show is probably actually going to be also a little bit short, you guys, because I am going to be going over to the expo. So I'm having fun speaking. I'm going to double check that link works to get you guys. Yeah, it should work to get you to the expo page. Today is the Global Business Plaza Quarterly Expo. And what that is from 9 a.m. Central to 9 p.m. Central. So it just started 26 minutes ago, same time the show did. There are a bunch of people over in the in a big expo hall, virtual expo hall, hanging out, listening to speakers, and talking business, meeting each other, making connections. And they're in rooms that look very similar to the studio area that I'm in right now, and connecting with each other. So I'm heading straight over to the expo after I get done with the show today, and I'd love it if anybody wants to come over and join us. It's going to be a good time. So I'm gonna read off your comment, Chemical Soup TV. I love that. Isn't belief just bad, whatever it is? Belief equals assumption equals ignorance equals suffering. I wouldn't say that a belief is always a bad thing. I would say, because you can have the belief, one of the reasons I chose belief for December was people having a belief in, and this is coming from American suburbia, a belief in Santa Claus. And I'm not going to say whether Santa is real or not. I'm going to say that a belief in Santa Claus is a positive, exciting, exhilarating belief. Not only for children, by the way. I think it's a good, but so belief is, I wouldn't say belief is necessarily just assumption. I would say belief is something that you hold to be true. And as we talked about last week, we talked about the definition of the word belief, which I'm going to look up again just so I can read it again. Here is belief is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Now, it's the acceptance that the statement is true. It is not scientific fact, truth, but it is the person's acceptance that something is true or that something exists. So my belief that this coffee mug exists is my acceptance that this is a real object. My belief that I am good enough is my acceptance that is a truth. A limiting belief is a belief that limits your ability to live and do the next thing. So I would probably question or wonder about the belief equals assumption. And now I would say assumptions do feed things like ignorance and suffering. I would say assumption definitely, assumption about someone else can be also ignorance about the thing, because you're not allowing the possibility of understanding. And then those things can definitely lead to suffering for sure. Now that's just my description probably of how that is. Belief is that you have a theory for what is instead of exploring and keen eyes to look close the eyes with your believing. Well, I'm going literally by, I'm using literally the dictionary from the Oxford Dictionary definition of the word belief. So one of the things we do on this show is we take a word like belief, especially, and break it from that point of it saying the acceptance that a statement is true or that it exists, not necessarily that a theory, because theory is a different word. I would say that so according to the definition, is there any difference between believing and knowing? I would say that knowing, I love that question, because it does bring up, so believing is the acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. So I'm gonna pull up the definition of knowing to see what we get, because I love the juxtaposition there. And let's look, because I think there's probably some subtle differences, but I will also say that I just now pulled up that definition. So belief being the acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. So the trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something is the I believe in Santa Claus. And the acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists is I believe I believe this is a good show. So that's my belief, is that is something that is true. Now, knowing, let's look at this one. I just copied it in. Showing or suggesting that one has knowledge or awareness that is secret or known to only a few people. So that's saying it's known to just a few people. Done in full awareness or consciousness, as in a knowing breach of the order by the appellants. So something done in full awareness is in knowing that something is full awareness or consciousness. Our beliefs aren't always conscious, for certain, and especially limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are usually not conscious. I'm going to just copy the definition piece of, because it was getting a little confusing there when it started adding other words in. I'm going to try this again, try a different type of pasting, just to see here. And so this is the first. Do you believe you're streaming, or do you know it? Ooh, okay. One, I definitely believe I'm streaming, because I believe that the platform exists. And let me look at I know I'm streaming, because as far as it's being done in full awareness. Actually, okay, so we've also got the knowing is the state of being aware or informed. So the state of being aware of something versus the belief. So belief being the, I'm talking to you, is that a belief? Okay, so that you are talking to me, a belief being, I'm backing up in my comments here so I can read it. Acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. I believe that the text on the screen exists. So I believe that there is a user named Chemical Soup TV on Twitch typing that in, saying, I believe that statement or that interaction, I accept that it is true, and I accept that statement on my screen exists. It is not a belief in the sense that believing of self or believing in you it's believing in the acceptance that the text is on the screen. The knowing would be the state of being aware or informed. So going back to this one here. So the knowing is being informed that is on the screen. So I think there's a difference between the knowing and the believing, but I think the difference is the acceptance. So you can be informed that something is out in the world, but your acceptance of it would be the belief about it or not. That's my personal breakdown of that. I'm not a linguist. We've actually had a really brilliant linguist on the show back in July. Justin Neely. He is he's trained as a linguist and is the head of the Potawatomi Nation's language department. And so specifically, he actually is very knowledgeable about the Potawatomi language. But I think probably we would have to have a linguist help us break that part down a little bit differently. Whereas I'm coming from the perspective of being someone who works with people with their unconscious mind. And so interestingly, that the definition for knowing has to do with being knowledge or awareness, let's see, done in full awareness or consciousness. That knowing has to do with consciousness. And where I work, where I am speaking, a lot of things are in the unconscious. So, yeah. So this way, everything is a belief because what you see or sense that it's shown to you by your eyes or five senses is what's there or not there. But everyone has different beliefs. Everyone, we could both stand at Niagara Falls and see or sense or use our five senses and have a different experience. Each individual on the planet has not just has, but does have different experiences from each other. So, but the belief is the acceptance that it is true or not, or that it is there or not. Now, you may, example, from a mental health perspective, hallucinatory events could be hearing something that is not making an audible vibration frequency, that's not actually in the world, but it is belief or acceptance that is happening. And that's not necessarily something that is making a vibration out in the world. I would say that then you're talking about whether the truth is true, even if you believe otherwise. Truth, we would have to look at the definition of the word truth, because truth and belief are two different things. So truth is yet another different item. So truth, the definition is the quality or state of being true, that which is true or accordance with fact or reality. But then we would also have to break down the words fact and reality. And a fact or belief that is accepted as true. Now, a belief can be accepted as a truth, but that's when you're talking about scientific truth, and that's when you're talking about that's when you get to the difference between a belief and a scientific fact are two different things. It's the belief, it's your acceptance that something, it's the acceptance part that is the root of that definition, though. The root of the definition of belief is acceptance, not truth. And so it's a belief is personal because it's the acceptance. And then truth is when you start talking about scientific facts. And then knowing is a completely is yet another is the state of being aware or informed. And you can be aware or informed of a variety of things, whether they're truths or whether they're beliefs, because not every truth is a belief and not every belief is true to everyone. The belief is definitely true to the individual stating the belief. My beliefs are valid for me. Your beliefs are valid for you. Your acceptance of something that might be scientific fact is a valid belief for you. It may or may not be a valid belief for me. And that's where I think some of the crux is to me, the definition, and this is, again, to me, the definition of respect is, I have an equation for it. To me, the definition of respect is fully understanding 8.2 billion people minus one. In other words, I am the only one that holds the things in my mind that are there. And everything I have in my mind is 100% valid. And everything you have in your mind is 100% valid. And my acceptance of your validity, your 100% validity, and the person next to you's 100% validity, et cetera, that acceptance and respect, that those are also, that everyone has 100% valid self, is, to me, the definition of respect. So it's 8.2 billion is the definition of respect, is if you can understand and hold that everyone's way of looking at the world is as valid as your own. That is the true definition of respect, in my opinion. Again, that's opinion. And like we talked about last week, opinions are not beliefs, and opinions are not facts. Opinions are just that. They're what's held inside my what's called internal representation of the world. So if you look up the phrase internal representation, and especially within the confines of or in the realm of neurolinguistic programming and NLP, then you'll find out more about that. But I have absolutely loved this interaction, Chemical Soup TV. I'd so love if you were able to send me a private message and let me know if you're somebody that I already know, or just I'd love to get. I've loved getting to know you as somebody's here. If you're somebody I already know, I love the fact that you're challenging me from behind the scenes as well. And that's part of what this show is all about, is let's explore things. Let's explore each other's internal representations of the world, those validities. Let's explore those so that we can expand our own internal representation of the world, so that we can understand our own knowing, so that we can understand so that we can expand our knowing, potentially expand our believing, and just the understanding of each other. Because the more we understand each other, the more we can be in this world together in a more of a harmonious nature. So I am going to close out today's show with the most beautiful little clip that Jessica Dugas, the head of the Breakthrough Show Network, made for us to give everybody holiday wishes. And I wish next week we'll be back talking some more about beliefs. We're going to go into another deep dive about beliefs, and then I think we only have one more show after that before we close out the month. I can't tell you right now what January is going to be, because I'm not sure. I haven't finished. I haven't finalized the plan for 2026 yet, but the show's going to be slightly different. We're going to have some more specific segments, like the How Charged Are Your Nuts segments, and we're gonna dive into some more good topics like this. But I appreciate Chemical Soup TV. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's watching today. And I hope you guys all have an amazing holiday. I will see you again next week. And hopefully I'll see you at the Global Business Plaza Expo today. That's where I'm headed. See you there.
Thank you for joining us on this nutty adventure. Remember, personal growth and wellness are journeys best taken together. Keep exploring, keep growing, and don't forget to show me your nuts next time.